How is everybody doing today? Life is about pacifying yourself, I've learned. That's all it's about. What do I mean? You grow mushrooms and then you figure out you want to do it a little bit bigger. You get a kiddie pool. Not big enough, you get 2 kiddie pools. Then, when you're sitting there using your pots to make like your substrate with everything, you're like, man, that takes a lot of time. I don't want to use the pots no more. So then, you go get 3 pots. And then you're like, man, this still takes forever. I need to expedite this so I can get back to enjoying a quality of life. So then you upgrade to that. And all of this is pacification. So then you're like, you know what? Everything's going really good right now. I'm tired of mixing everything by hand. And you end up with one of them. So when you think you are, how do I say this? Building up for something, understand most likely you're pacifying your fucking boredom. Need another example? This right here. There's an old air tank. Now we welded the handle onto it and it's got a fucking rotisserie basket in there, which is only led to getting an actual coffee roaster when we have another one on the way. This is the sample roaster for hopefully a new business that I'm about to get into. Why do I have this and why was I thinking about that? Honestly, it was because of mushrooms, because I used coffee grains. I love using coffee grains in all of my substrate, and I said, you know what, I'm tired of buying coffee grains from the store. Let's just buy the coffee roaster. And I've also learned that from getting the roaster there are some unintended effects. See, there's no such thing as a side effect. It's a lesser known effect, or it's actually just an effect. And because I got this, there are a few effects from this that are absolutely going to be used in mycology. What do I mean? Before we actually roast anything, I'm going to show you how to clean the inside of the basket. Why am I going to show you that? Because a lot of people that I've read say that it sucks, when in reality you can't just use something non-stop. You have to maintain things. This has been used now heavily for about a month and we need to clean it. We've cleaned it more than once, but I figured I'll show you how to clean it and then we'll actually roast something and I'll show you the unintended effects. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is take the screws out there, and then I have 2 more on the other side right there. So let's get these out real quick. And now you need to go get your Allen key. So now what you're going to want to do is take this one out and this one out first. Then your hopper will come out. So let's get them out. I'm doing this out in the fall with a lot of leaves on the ground, which is not recommended in any way, shape, or form, because I don't have these replacement screws if I lose them. In the industry, they call this foreshadowing. I'm going to leave that one tight for a minute. Yeah. So now when I go to pull this one out, now's when you got to be careful. When I was able to do this before, they were sticking to the end of my bit. Whatever you do, for God's sake, do not lay that face down in a situation like I am right now outside in the woods with leaves everywhere. Because the only thing you will do is lose your screws. Alright, let's take our hopper out. Now you're going to have a wire that's sticking right through here. We got to be very careful with that wire. And also we got to not do that. I know where that screw is, so let me stop everything I'm doing and pick that one up. Before they fall out, drop them in there. See if we can get the other ones out. Nope, still don't want to come out for us. Alright, now you got to do a little pull. There we go, and I just lost another screw. 2 more screws. Let's find them. Joy. Let's get the last screw off while we can. Alright, now we got it exposed. Let me get those screws. So now that I spoke that into existence and lost 2 screws in the leaves, yeah, I was not joking. I'm going to clean this all out and I'm going to reinstall everything without that screw and that screw right there. And then I'll have to go up and get some more. But why do we take this off? You see that little bastard right there, that little bean? That little bean right there stuck can change the way that your coffee bean roasts. So every once in a while, you got to come in here and you got to clean all this shit out. You got to make sure there's nothing stuck where it shouldn't be stuck. And you just got to clean it out. That's what we did. Want to see one of the unintended effects? This coffee chaff right here is inert and is a beautiful additive to my plant substrate. And I'm collecting enough to where I can actually substitute that for my core and see how it works as a substitute for that. So I'm going to blow all this out right here, collect my chaff into the bag that I have for it, put 4 screws back in instead of 6 because I'm an asshole, and then we'll get roasting. I'm actually going to reach out to the manufacturer and see if they can put like a random bag of bolts together as a product to purchase, because if you got to maintain this on a regular basis or even semi-regular, you're going to lose stuff, and it would be a whole lot easier instead of trying to source the correct hardware from a hardware store if I could just go to them and buy it. So now that I got 1, 2, 3, 4 in, minus the 2 side ones, and the reason that I didn't put these in and I'm okay with operating the machine is because there's no grounding tabs. Those don't connect anything to anything else. It literally just holds this to here, which is why like I didn't leave. I wanted to use these because those double up and hold that as well. And with these being on the bottom, since the top are used, you always use the bottom. That's as even pressure as you can get. So let's get the face of this back on and get roasting. It was really ill-advised doing this out here. For as smart as I am a fucking dumbass sometimes. I mean, why would I even think to put in work here? This is so stupid. But hey, here we are. So now what we are going to do is put my camera back in the tripod and weigh out some green coffee. Actually, what we can do, since I already know what settings I like to use for this, we're going to put our cap back in here. We're going to put our beans back in, our bean chipper thingy in there. Put that down there like that. Oh, never mind, we still got to empty the hopper. And to empty that, literally you just take it out. And wipe that out. Alright. Now that we got our power situation fixed, that was a pain in the ass, bad cord. What I do with mine, I go to 32. And then once it preheats up, I'll put it into assistant mode. We're going to let this roll till it gets to 215. And while it's doing that, we can weigh our coffee beans out a while. All I'm going to do is weigh out 400 grams, and that'll be what we roast. I'm about to learn a little bit about you guys. If you answer yes, then you might learn something about me. If the answer is no. If you've ever been around green coffee beans, does it remind you of your younger years in cocaine? The only other place or thing I have smelled that takes me straight to my early 20s in cocaine besides this is creosote at a rail yard. It smells exactly like cocaine. Good cocaine nonetheless, like a hospital. This Smells like they just got done cleaning. That actually messes with my head a little bit. I'm good 15 years removed. When I opened the bag up, the instant thought was concern. So I believe I'm good with that part of my life, but nonetheless, you never know, and it was an interesting observation. So we're going to let this finish heating up, and then I'll bring you guys back. So if you notice how we got some smoke coming out, expect it with that on top. When it's inside the house, I actually use the exhaust piping that it came with, and we go from there. Now, our temperature is preheated. What we're going to do, drop our beans in. Let's change the camera angle up, and then I'll show you what we do with our controller. Roast. Now it's in assistant mode. Get your bong ready. So now things will start rolling fast. Our timer's still going up. Our beans are getting close to done. And you start smelling it. I don't know if you can see the smoke or not, but she's puffing away. I typically like to run it for about another 20-30 seconds past the timer, and that gets rid of that little tin line in the middle, that little yellow line at the end. So, hopefully my phone stays charged, because this should be wrapping up soon. You'll start to hear it popping and cracking. In the industry, they call that first crack. You like to develop it just beyond second crack, or else you're at dark or espresso. Oh, actually really chuffing that. That's normal. And if you're inside, that's what's going inside. It smells good, but be aware. Take the batteries out of your smoke detector. Now she's really popping away. Really smoking away. We're getting close. Getting close. Keep peeking in that window down here. I'm still seeing that yellow line. As soon as most of that yellow line goes away, we're going to do a drop. Which, yep. It's getting close though. I hope the phone doesn't die. Almost there. We're at 6%. I'm probably doing that too much, but hey, I'm learning. Alright, so now it looks like on the window, I'm getting right where I want to be. So what I'm going to do is drop it now, and then while it cools down, that should finish it. Ah, it's almost there. It's a delicate balance before you burn the shit. You don't want to burn the shit, because you burn one, you notice it. almost impatience is real. Smells good out here. Still got a little bit, I think. No, I'm getting ready to drop it. Yeah. I think I popped it out a few seconds too soon, but it is what it is. It'll still be good. Now leave that open, then I also take that out, this out, and then I check to see if there's anything on fire. Oh, we gotta put that. Oh, cool. Turn the roast off. You know what? When in doubt, turn the fucker off, turn it back on, and just put it on cool. There we go. That'll drop down to 60 degrees Celsius and then turn itself off. And the reason I just did that was because the roaster was still on. And the reason that had to happen was because I was impatient. And now, look at this beautiful effect of having the coffee roaster. Nice inert material. Every 45 seconds to a minute you want to take it and pull this out and twirl that around. I wasn't here. I tried to do. It's washed. Hence why that ain't in here. So I am actually kind of happy with that. It's a little bit lighter. Like I'd have rather them all been. Nah. It's my coffee, so who the fuck cares? I would have rather them all been like that. But there's a fair amount like that. That's acceptable. And yeah, so now we go put them in the hopper and grind it up. See, if we would have got to a little bit further, it would have got rid of that. That's okay. That's actually what you're hearing cracking as well. So let's go put them in the grinder and make some coffee. And then I get my spent coffee greens that I roasted. And then when I get enough chaff, we'll add that to our substrate. So ultimately now I need to buy a coffee tree. Now that we got our beans roasted, got the hopper loaded up, you can put fresh roasted beans into a hopper like that because it's not airtight. If you're going to store them in a jar like that, about the first 24-48 hours, leave your lid on like that. Loose. It'll allow it to degas for you. So let's brew a coffee, and I'll get my coffee grains for my substrate. Might as well put it on for the full, because this will be coffee for today and tomorrow. Gotta get the little lid in. It's a little bit of a pain, but we'll get there. There we go. And there's our coffee roast. Let's make us a coffee. Now we just make our coffee like we normally would. 4 cups. Alright, let's take a look at what we've made. Got us a nice glass of coffee. And what you do is you take the coffee in one of these weird shaped glasses, you swirl it around and you bury your nose. Oh fuck, that's hot. You bury your nose outside of the precipice of the cup. Careful not to inhale the steam, because it will wake you the fuck up. And then you breathe in deeply. You spit, and then you swig. Fucking hot. Remembering that it is very, very hot, and also very, very good. And at this point in time, I'd like to thank you for your time, friends. That's all we have. It doesn't exist. Much love. Stay chubby. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I got my coffee grinds now for my substrate. So, check it out. We've roasted the grinds. We roasted the beans, grinded them up, brewed them. Now I'm drinking the coffee, taking the chaff and adding it to the substrate, as well as adding that to the substrate. And if you guys have been around for a while, you'll remember our coffee agar recipe. I really just need to buy a fucking coffee tree now. Love you. Bye. And in case you're wondering, I drink my coffee like a straight bitch. I add a little bit of French vanilla and a little bit of hazelnut, and that motherfucker tastes like a straight Lucky Charm marshmallow. And if you're double wondering or triple wondering at this point in time, this whole clip exists because I forgot to say thank you for your time. It's all we have and it does not exist. Much love and stay chubby. Links below. Bye.